All right, guys, it looks like we're live again. Good morning. Morning thoughts with the Madman. Hold on, let me turn my music down so I can hear what I'm saying. Uh, what's happening, guys? So I slept for about 4 or 5 hours last night. Cool thing. I ain't chilling. It's all gravy. Um, so I woke up and I was like, I felt like talking again and decided what I wanted to talk about. And a little bit of it is going to be about my experience in waking up and how how it's affected me, right? And it's all good. It's all in a positive way, which is beautiful, right? So, I got this thing and it happened. Like I told you, the energy shift and the meditation and all that stuff, right? Um, and so I wanted to thank a couple more people while I'm doing this because they were like my guides, right? So I started listening to a guy named a yogi named Sadhguru, right, on TikTok, and then I went on to his YouTube channel, and you know, um, he's a yogi, and he's pretty cool. I don't know how, I mean, I'd like to talk to him. I think we could have a great debate on a lot of different subjects when it comes to this kind of stuff. Um, so I wanted to thank him for, you know, guiding me to the um, meditation aspect of my change, my transition. For all you motherfuckers out there, we transitioned. um, anyway, um, and Alan Watts. I don't know if any. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Alan Watts. He's been around for a long time. I don't know if he's still alive, to be honest with you. But I started listening to his videos and his speeches and his talks and his lectures, and you know, very very interesting stuff. And it really made me start to think, right, and really think. And it kind of coalesced with the yogi aspect of what was going on. um, as far as I could see a lot of similarities in what they were talking about, right? And then who else was? I mean, there's quite a few others I'll get into, um, but Jordan Peterson's another one. Not a huge fan of Jordan Peterson's. I just don't like his style. I think his message is pretty good. I just don't like his style, right? And that's okay. We're all different, right? That's why we have so many of us out here talking about this shit. Because some of it will resonate with somebody, right? Even me, I'm going to resonate with somebody, and that's good. That's all we're trying to do, right? Um, and who else? Man, God, Scott. What the hell's his name? This is a problem with having memory issues. But luckily, I got my phone. I can Google his ass real quick. Uh, he's kind of like a hippie. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I'll remember it eventually. But he also got woken up, right? He sees what's going on, right? So those of us that have gotten this thing happen, is that's happened to us, has really seen the playing field, right? The whole thing. And we're trying to help other people navigate it, right? Because it's not an easy navigation. Shit. I'm still navigating it and I'll always be navigating it because it's an infinite thing like the universe, right? It's always growing, always going. So we got to always learn. We always got to expand our minds, right? We always got to be able to create, leave our mark, right? Leave our mark on this planet because we're gonna die. We're all gonna fucking die, right? So, what is your legacy or your mark or your thing that when you're gone from here, aside from family, right, that you would want people to know about who you are, right? I think that camera's fucked up over there. Okay. Or is that just this? I don't know. There we go. So I'm trying to do all this stuff. I don't know how to do half of it. Anyway, so we want to leave our mark, right? We want to leave our legacy, right? That's it. You want to leave you know, um, so when people look back, they're going to remember who you were, right? Or what you did or what you were about. And your family is, right? Because, and when you come from a place of love, that's what happens, right? You don't forget, right? My mom died in 2007, and I think about her not every day. I mean, let's not be fucking liars here, okay? I don't think about her every day, right? But I think about her an awful lot, okay? And I've got friends that have passed away that I think about an awful lot. Now, are they my spirit guides and angels? Or my little energy people up there, or the ancient aliens, or whatever you want to call it? I hope so. I believe so. Based on what I've been learning and understanding about what I'm going through and what's happening up here, that you know, we're all connected, right? We are all connected, not just in the um, sense of living on this earth, right? But we are all connected universally, right? And we're going to get into that, because it's pretty amazing when you think about it. It's no different than the neural pathways in your brain, right? How you can connect thoughts and images inside your head. We do the same thing in the universe, right? When we leave here, our body dies, and we're all rotten bones in the graveyard, right? That's what we end up becoming, right? Worm food and all that shit, unless we get burnt and then we're back into the ground. So we all become worm food, right? Which is good. It really is. There's actually a company I was reading about that is working on a human composting program, which I thought was cool as shit. So he has this big warehouse, and he has all these human remains in hermetically sealed containers, I guess, or whatever they're in. All right, um, looks like some sort of square sarcophagus. Okay, but anyway, the bodies are in there, and they add whatever they add to it, and they go through the whole natural decomposition process, right? And then I guess from there, I don't know their complete process, but I believe they mix it with other natural organic shit and then sell it, right? As a natural fertilizer, because that's what we are, right? I mean, we came from the earth, right? The earth came from the creator. The creator is it. Who the fuck is it? Right? Whatever. But the bottom line is, you want to leave your mark when you leave here. Okay. And, the mark I want to leave is a positive mark. You know, I don't want to be remembered as the guy that could be the biggest asshole in the world if he wanted to be, um, but could also be a very very humble and loving person. And I'm trying to lean more towards the humble and loving at this time in my life. Right? I wish I'd learned it earlier. Right? Because God only knows. God, me only knows where I would be right now. But I'm where I'm supposed to be. So I'm good with everything, right? You know, like I said in a post earlier, I took the reverse gear out of my training. So I can't go backwards, right? There's nothing back there. It's all fucking history, right? So we go forward. It's the only way to go. You can't look back. Nothing's going to change back there. Keep your memories, right? Keep the good memories. Keep the love. Let go of the anger and the hate and the guilt. And your life changes, right? So anyway, I'm listening to these guys, and so then I start practicing meditation. Okay, and the hardest thing was to get to that quiet place in your mind, right? Because you have to shut everything out, right? Completely. You can't think about nothing, right? And that's a hard, hard thing to do, to completely let your mind go blank. Um, of course it does when I drink a lot. My mind goes blank and I pass out or puke or get in a fight or argue, whatever, but it goes blank, right? It's not the kind of blank I'm talking about, right? We're not talking about blackout blank. Where you're talking about peaceful quiet, right? And that's a hard place to get to. It's the hardest place you'll ever get to. At least it was for me. So it's cool. So these guys, I listened to them and I started practicing the meditation aspect of it. Um, really just about, I mean, I was doing this every night before bed, right? And, I got in a complete state of relaxation, right? And emptiness, mental emptiness, not, whatever. Um, and that's when, you know, I started getting my waves of positivity or signs or whatever. Um, so at first you don't know how to make a what to make of it, but um, it got scary. Right, this is the part where it started getting scary for me. Is I get into this place, right, and you're completely empty, and your mind is dark and black, and there's nothing, man. I mean, no sound, no lights, nothing, right? And then you start getting a flash or a vibration feeling, or just total, like you're not in your body anymore. Okay, you've transcended, right? You've raised your mind up. um and I close my eyes a lot because it helps me think. All right. So um, you transcend, right? And that's when shit starts happening. Okay. When you can get to that blank spot. So you go through this process, and the first part of the process, is is being honest with yourself, right? Total honesty, right? Complete honesty with who you think you are. Okay. And, I think some call it the dark night of the soul. Well, for me, my soul was so fucking dark, it took a couple of nights. Okay. I can't remember exactly how many. All right. But I would get flashes of shit, flashes of. I'm going to tell you one story here in a minute that kind of freaked me out. I don't know if I told it in the first episode or the second episode, but I'm going to tell it often because it's a phenomenal story, and it's a true story. Um, you know, um, so you get these flashes and you see everything, or what your mind remembers of your past and all the negative shit you did, right? I mean, all the dark shit you did, right? The stealing, the fucking, you know, fucking vandalism, the fucking, all of it, man, everything, the sexual deviance, the whole fucking thing, right? Everything. You got to deal with it all, man. You got to deal with everything that you ever done in your past that was negative, okay? And if you're on, you have to be honest with yourself, or you don't get through it, right? There's the hard part, right? Is you got to go through this darkness, right? And disturbed. I'm going to use music a lot as analogies because that's what works for me. Um, Disturbed sings a song that's sometimes the darkness can show you the light. Okay, true fucking statement, guys. If you can get inside your head and accept your darkness, understand that you have darkness in you. We all do, right? But you can't let the dark side of your life consume you, right? It's a balance thing again. Um, so you go through the dark night of the souls. That's what it's been called. I don't know what you want to call it whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter, right? Self-realization, looking at yourself in the mirror, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's all the same thing. So you go through that, and you come out and you're like, holy shit. That's the part where I almost quit, guys. When I got into the dark night of the soul, because like I said, I mean, I did a lot of things in my past I'm not proud of, right? But they're in the past, so I can't change them. So fuck it, move on, right? But you have to deal with them internally in your mind. You have to accept it as your truth, because that's exactly what it is. And and then you have to let it go, right? If you don't stop there, right, which I almost did, because that was frying my brain, right? That's the fried brain part I was talking about, because you got to deal with all your demons, right? And they're some of us got a lot of fucking demons, right? I mean, some of us are blessed to probably only have a couple. Okay, you're lucky, let me tell you. But us that have a lot of them, okay, I mean, it's a fucking process, right? To to put them all back in Pandora's box, right? So you know, so you push through that. If you push through that, that's when all the good shit starts happening, right? For me, it did, right? So that's when the dominoes fall, right? And the lights go on, and you start getting these flashes happening, and you don't understand what the hell's going on. So the story I want to tell, and I can't remember if I said this or not. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep saying it. So I'm not a church guy. You guys, I've baptized, I think one or two of my daughters. I don't know, maybe all of them. I don't really get into it. I used to joke that if I walked into a church, I was going to get struck by lightning, because I was the son of the fucking devil, right? That's that's where I like to play. I like to play in the dark. So I felt if I walked into church, I was never comfortable sitting in a church, man. Never comfortable sitting in there. And I tried. I surrendered myself to Jesus Christ twice, right? And it didn't last, right? I don't know why, whatever. I didn't believe it, right? I'll get into all that shit. But but I was looking, right? So I went to church. Hey, maybe I'll find something. I didn't find it, right? So I keep looking. Anyway, so we lived in Beltsville, and St. Joseph's is a church that we belong to, mainly because that's where my wife wanted to go, and my mother-in-law, who was a recovered alcoholic, and she had a lot of issues, and she came to terms with her issues, and she found, I mean, I think she is on the positive side now. Matter of fact, I haven't gotten any flashes or none of that shit from her, but I think in time that'll come because we had a pretty good relationship, right? So I know her energy's out there somewhere, and we'll connect at some point, right? Um, anyway, so we went to St. Joseph's Church. I think one or two of my kids were baptized there. I don't know, right? Um, and there was this priest there. His name was Father Dave, right? He was a young guy. I don't know, mid-30s, something like that. I think I met him once, maybe twice in my life, you know. And he was a priest that struggled with issues. What his issues were, I have no idea. Don't really care. He struggled with issues, right? And he ended up killing himself. He ended up jumping in front of a train and committing suicide, right? And I only remember, I think, because one of my daughters, who is bipolar, um, was quite fond of him, right? I believe, right? From my memory, anyway. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. All my kids will. But anyway, he committed suicide. And I had met him once or twice, really never talked to him. So I go on about my business, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going through this shit. I've gotten out of the dark side of this thing, and I get a flash for like 15, I don't even think it was 15 seconds. Might have been 5 seconds. I don't know. I don't know where I was. I was in here somewhere. Okay. And I got a flash of his face. And all I heard was, "You're doing the right thing. I was wrong." What the fuck does that mean? Right? I questioned myself. What does that mean? I'm doing the right thing. Right? So I pondered and pondered, and I was wrong. So I pondered those two things, right? And was he wrong about killing himself? Was he wrong about his religion? Was he wrong about both of them? I don't know, right? What I'm thinking is, he was wrong about both of them. Okay. And we'll get into that. But um, it was weird, man. And it stuck with me. And I could not understand why. Um, I couldn't understand why he was giving me this flash, right? Because I didn't fucking know him. But he came, right? And so I kept going and going. I get more flashes, and I start seeing signs, right? Like, I'm not into astrology or any of that shit, right? I'm not into that kind of psyche thing. I mean, I've always wondered about it, but I've never really, kind of pursued it or anything, or looked into it, or, you know. But back in September, um, when the World Trade Towers were hit, right? Um, I after that I started seeing the number 9/11 all the time, right? A lot of time, not all the time, but often, very often, bunch of different places, mostly on um, clocks and things of that nature, right? Every time I look at a clock, it'd say 9/11, right? Maybe it's just, my way of remembering September 11th, right? Well, as this thing starts processing and starts moving, I start seeing all kinds of different numbers with 11 on the end of them, right? And more and more, more and more and more. Okay. So I have seen 11 of 11 of these numbers consistently. 1 of 11, 2 of 11, blah, 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 to 11 of 11, right? And different times of the day, different nights, different places, doesn't matter. I see them all the time. And, so I started checking it. What do us dummies do? Google it, bitch, as my wife would say. So I Googled it, and turns out to be some sort of, angelic number system. True or not? I don't know. I believe it, because everything that I look into seems to be on the path that I'm on, right? And I didn't know any about any of this shit before I was awoke or wakened or woken up or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I see them all the time now. Coincidence? I don't think so, right? Um, Conspiracy? Yeah, okay. I'm conspiring with fucking spirits, good spirits, right? I like that, you know. And then, music, man. I've always loved music. I mean, a lot of us love music, right? But I mean, really love music to where, you know, um, that's a friend of mine used to tell his friends that you gotta talk to this guy about music, man. He could tell you the name of the band, all the fucking players, the songs, blah 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 blah, because that was my passion, right? Was music, and I still enjoy it immensely. Like I said, it's my church. Um, but anyway, where did I go? We were talking about patterns, yes. So I see these signs, right? And I start seeing them in music. Then I start seeing them on the TV. Then I start seeing them here, there, and everywhere, right? And they've always been there, right? It's just that I was never really looking for them, okay? Or at least I thought I was looking for them, but I was looking in the wrong place, whatever the case may be, right? But now, it's just like, wow, 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 wow. Because you go back in your life and you see all these things that you used to do, and you can see the patterns, right? You can see the little flashes of what you're supposed to be doing, what your calling was throughout your life, you know, but you blow it off, because it doesn't seem real. What's real is fucking paying a mortgage, and paying a car payment, and paying a credit card payment, and taking the kids to school, and on and on and on and on and round and round and round we go. Where we end, nobody fucking knows, right? Because that is the game, right? That's the whole game, right? Um, so anyway, like I said, I'm sharing my story to hopefully, some of you guys will see the signs that you're looking for, right? Okay. Like I said before, I'll never be able to show you how to do it, right? I can tell you where to look, right? But I can't show you because you first have to go through all the shit I was talking about earlier. You first have to go deep down here and fucking expose yourself to yourself. And, that's where people are going to start thinking you're fucking insane. Okay. That's when people are going to start thinking you need to see a doctor. All of this I knew was going to happen before I started this. Um, you know it was it was told to me, in my mind. I don't know how, but it was told to me that you're going to have all your fucking haters and doubters, and fuck them. That's the dark side. Let them go play over there, and fuck each other or whatever they want to do. I don't care. I know I'm going to get crude at times. I'm sorry. It's the way I am. You know, it's part of me. My wife, I don't think, likes too much, but whatever. It's who I am. Because I'm going to talk real talk, right? I'm going to tell you the shit that nobody wants to talk about, right? And Hate me for it, beautiful, I love you anyway. Love me for it, beautiful, I love you anyway. Right? Try to kill me for it, beautiful, I love you anyway. Doesn't matter. All right? I'm down here, I'm invincible. Right? In here, I know I'm never gonna die. So, you know, come at me, right? I want you to come at me, right? I do want you to come at me because I want to help. And I can't force you to do it other than just sit here and shoot my shit. And you decide whether you want to or not. Um, so, where was I? Short-term memory loss is a bitch. So anyway, you go through this, and you got to go through the dark shit. Like I said, you get come out of the outside of the light shit. You start seeing the flashes, blah 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 blah. Right? Then you start. Then you go into this fucking crazy period. Right? You've been awoken. Right? Boom, lights are on. Right? And the fuckers are bright as shit. Right? They're everywhere. Lights are just going bing 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 bing. Right? And that's when the writing started for me. Right? Okay. Um, I would just sit in the chair and just start writing, and to put it down, and pick it up, put it down, pick it up, write, paragraph, short sentence, song idea, just write. And I could not stop it, like I said. So now, after that period, right, that discovery period, I call it, right, discovering yourself, right, the real you, right. Um, then you get into the what am I going to do with this phase, right? I mean, I was given this thing of beauty, right? Because it really is, right? And what am I supposed to do with it? I mean, this is too big for just me, right? I mean, I'm fucking ecstatic that it happened. I don't know why it happened, right? I can't explain it, but I'm happy it happened. And so you get to this phase where it's like, wow, you can feel the power, right? I mean, you can feel the vibration, the energy. And I was telling Casey this that when I'm really in the creative and in tune with the energies of the universe. Okay, weird sounding, I know, but we'll talk about it, right? Because it's real, and you can feel your body vibrate, man. You can feel the energy in your body just elevating, right? It's like you're trying to fucking take off, right? And you can't stop it when you're in that place because it's good. You don't want to stop it, right? No different than the negative side. When you go in that deep, dark place, all you want to do is stop it, and you can't fucking stop it, right? So it's the opposite effect, right? And if you have your choice of which place you want to live in, well, I'm going to stay over here in Mania Land because it's a lot more peaceful. Okay, if where I'm at, like I told my wife, if where I'm at is me being in a manic state, right? Then I want to stay here forever, right? Because as long as I'm not trying to hurt myself or anybody else, which I know I won't because that's not why I'm here, right? Um, when I lived in the dark, yeah, I wanted to hurt myself and everybody else. I didn't give a fuck, right? I could care less. But I'm not there anymore, right? And that's a good thing. So, you know, I want to stay in the positive place. I want to find the balance. I like dancing with the devil. You can ask my kids, right? They'll tell you. Right? They see me drunk yelling at people. You want to dance with the devil? You want to dance with the devil, motherfucker? And I'm drunk as shit, right? But I don't care, right? It's that liquid courage coming out. But I've been like that all my life. I mean, I'll challenge anybody at any time. I don't give a fuck, right? But so I like to play with the devil, and it's okay to play with the devil, right? It's okay, right? Just don't play with him too long, right? Because then the devil takes control, right? The dark side, right? Your nastiness, your dirtiness, your evil, the dark part of you takes over, right? For the majority of the time. Now you can push it down a little bit and be nicey and play the game and you know do the handshake bullshit and all that nonsense. But at the end, it's the dark guy that wants to wants to control you, right? We all have two personalities. Well, boink, we do. Okay, good and bad. Those are your personalities. Love or hate. Those are your personalities, right? Um, so feed the one you want to feed, right? They both need to be fed, or they'll starve to death. And if you starve one, the other one's going to die because you can't have one without the other. Okay, so feed the devil, right? Just don't fucking feed him too much, right? Moderation, balance, synchronicity. We got to keep things there, right? Right? That's for us, right? Individually, right? And as a collective, as a group, worldwide, okay? If we get more people living here, okay? See the little fluctuations, got to have them, not going to change, and we'll get into why. Um, you know, then we find fucking livable cohabitation with the dark and the light, right? Okay. I was looking up earlier. I wanted to. There's never, guys, never in the history of mankind, and Google this shit or look it up where the fuck you want to look it up at. I don't care. All right. Ever in the history of this world, since humans have been on this planet, have we ever known total peace? Total peace. Worldwide peace. Does not exist. Cannot exist. Will never exist. Okay? Impossible. And those that tell you that it is possible are fucking lying to you. Okay? Straight up fucking lying to you. All right? And why? 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 We know why. Okay? We got the devil and Jesus Christ right here. Okay? They both live here. Right? Which one gets fed? Well, if you're batting 500, you're doing pretty fucking good, right? I mean, that's what they say in a lot of sports. If you're middle of the road, okay, right? So let's be better than middle of the road, okay, and bat a little bit above 500. You don't have to be a fucking grand slammer. We don't have to be grand slammers. Would be nice, right? But we're not set up that way. But we can bat over 500 consistently, right? It's just you have to have enough players on each team to keep it balanced, right? So right now there's too many players in the fucking dark side, right? Too many people are playing with the devil, right? And not enough people are playing with the good side, the positive side. And that's what we need to do, right? We got to get more players on the positive side of this game. And so we can balance this, right? We're always going to have the corrupt, we're always going to have the fucking narcissists and we're always going to have those fucking idiots, right? They're a part of the game, right? We're always going to have the fucking axe murderers. We're always going to have the child abductors. We're always going to have the fucking, mass murderers. Those are all part of the game, right? They all belong, right? As fucked up as that sounds, every one of them motherfuckers belong, right? But what we've done, what we have allowed, and I say that as a collective species, not as a country, not as a fucking whatever, but as a species on this planet, right? We have allowed that side to gain more control than they should have, okay? More control than they are allowed to have, right? We let them steal it from us, okay? We let them steal it from us, and that's why you see the world in the shape that it is in right now, right? Do we need to take care of the planet? Sure we do, right? It gives us our life, man. It gives us everything we need, right? Doesn't it? Huh? Hello? Right? Where do you fucking get your food from? Grows out of the ground, right? Where do you get your meat from? We fucking harvest that shit from animals living on the planet. Where do we get our water from? Blah, 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 right? We got to take care of our planet, okay? I said it earlier before, and I'm going to say it throughout this show that, when the universe was created, okay, we were given absolutely everything we need. We were given the cure to cancer. We were given the cure to everything. We were given the keys to do whatever had to be done, right? It's all here, right? Now, where the science and all that stuff that I don't know fucking a lot about comes in is, and a lot of things is, think of the universe as a you know uh, a quadrillion piece jigsaw puzzle. Okay, I mean just the biggest jigsaw puzzle you could imagine. Right, that's the universe, right? And it's got everything. All of those pieces of the puzzle are everything. Right, I like doing Neil Tyson DeGrasse's little hand shit. Right, ooh, um, everything that we need to create everything that we can imagine is in the universe already. Okay, because it can't exist if it didn't belong. If it wasn't, if the elements of it weren't there in the very beginning, it could not exist. Okay, so you can call it genetic engineering. I don't care how you do it, whatever, blah, 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 right? But it happens, right? The science shit. The science shit is they're all there taking these trillions of pieces of the puzzle and fitting them in place, right? And that's what we're trying to do in our little worlds, right? We're trying to put our puzzles together. So when you do that, I gotta take this off, man. I'm getting warm. When you do that, when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, you find things like penicillin and vaccines and all the things that science provides, right? The good stuff, right? I mean, it provides a lot of bad shit too. Remember, I mean, fucking doctor, what is his name? Mangala, Hitler's doctor. I mean, that motherfucker was a sick son of a bitch, man. But and I always refer to that because I watch a lot of history. I'm not a big reader, but I watch a lot of shows. So anyway, I don't know why I'm on here this long, but I got into a role, so we're going to talk. It's a beautiful thing. It's my show. I can do what the fuck I want. There's an artist I want to shout out to. His name's Jelly Roll. Right? I don't know. Some of y'all probably heard him. Right? He's a cool dude, man. Right? Here's a guy that he was in the fucking dumps, man. I mean, he was in the shitter. Okay, deep down in the shit. Right? I mean, he finally got his bucket and climbed out of it, and it blossomed into a rose bush for him. And if you hear his story and you listen to him, he's a fucking animal. Don't get me wrong. He's a party hard motherfucker. But his message is on point, right? His message is on point. And at first, when I started listening to him, I was getting caught up in the, which side of the political fucking boundary does he stand on? Because I was into that shit, and we'll get into that too. Why I wanted to only support certain businesses, right? You know the story, right? I'm not selling a cake to the gay couple shit, right? Well, I wanted to go the opposite direction. If you're a fucking Republican, I don't want to buy shit from you, right? I got caught up in that, right? I lost friendships over that game, close to losing family over that game, right? I've lost long time friendships. Okay, we're talking 30+ year friendships, right? And they won't get repaired. I'll be cordial. I'll be nice. And I've lost quite a few of them. Don't get me wrong, right? Because I am outspoken and I want to say what's on my mind. And you can disagree with it, right? I don't have a problem with that, right? But you attack me, okay? Then we're gonna get dirty, right? I'm gonna fucking get bloody. I don't give a shit. Okay, so what's going to happen? Get my ass kicked? Probably. Who cares? Right? Like I said, you can't hurt me, right? But you're going to fucking know I was there, So, anyway, Jelly Roll, man. What a cool dude, right? He won some awards recently, I think, country music award. I don't know if he's a country artist, a rapper, a rocker. I think it's a little bit of everything, right? He's just trying to he's trying to get the message out, right? Because he caught the same thing I caught. A whole lot of us here recently have been catching this motherfucker, right? It's like the flu. It's going around, right? So I'm spreading it. I'm not wearing a fucking mask. I'm spreading this flu. It's a good flu, okay? But anyway, just if you get a chance, listen to him. His songs are dark because he's talking about how bad his life was before he fucking woke up, right? We all do. And, like I said, I'm not preaching, guys. I could care. I mean, no, let me take that back. I do care. You know, I care that you find yourself, right? I care that you become a better person. I care that you enjoy, walking around on this planet, right? I care that, what I care mostly about is that I hope you want to care to help other people, right? That's what it comes down to is, what can you give to society to leave your mark? I think that's where this whole conversation started, right? Back, I don't know. But anyway, what can you do to leave your mark, right? And, do you want to leave a negative mark or a positive mark, right? So that's what I'm trying to do is leave a positive mark. It's going to resonate with some of you. It's not with others. Like I said, you know, I'm telling my story. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not trying to judge anybody. If I do, I apologize. That is not my intent. I'm looking at me so that you can look at me, right? And if you can see me, right, and can get something for what I'm saying, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing why I was here. So you'll see signs, man. I mean, they fucking hit you. You can't stop them. It's funny. It's funny as shit when you start looking at it. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get off now. I think I said what I had to say for now. Um, I don't know how often I'll do this. I'm gonna do it whenever I feel like it. I'm gonna go live. I'm still working on the podcast stuff, trying to get the RSS links or some shit. I don't know. We'll get there. But right now I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Again, we are supporting the. I'm supporting two causes, right? The National Alliance for Mental Health, right? Why? I told you why. I got fucking issues, right? So I want to help them work on the fucking neuro impulses that are disconnected, right? Maybe we can fucking hotwire them, right? There's a way, right? It's going to happen. So I want to help advance that. I'm looking for causes that, are not government agencies, right? But are not. I want the charities or the organizations that I work with that have the people's interest in mind. In other words, you got to spend, guys. This game's tough, man. Okay, you got to spend money to get the word out, right? You have to, right? We're in that kind of a society. What's beautiful is we have sources now where we can go globally with information at an instant, right? And get it to people that have never heard this shit, right? Or never even heard of it, right? Now, some countries are going to censor it and la, 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 la. You can't control that, you know. But I don't even know what I was saying. Anyway, I'm going to get off. Peace and love, man. Oh, yeah. I'm supporting them because I have issues. Look, we just had some, right? So, donate to them directly if you feel better about it. That's cool, right? I put it on my Cash App and Venmo because all this shit that I'm doing costs money, right? I'm retired, right? I got limited income. I don't need money. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I keep saying this. I'm gonna keep saying it, right? I don't need your money, right? I don't, right? I'm very comfortable, but I want to grow this thing, right? It's what I'm here to do. And that takes money, right? And that takes, where do you want to donate your money, right? Do you want to donate it to the grassroots folks that are out here, making a difference on the ground level, or some big fucking charity entity that takes 80% of the money to admin and whatever, and small percentages go? I mean, it happens, right? There's dickheads in that industry too, right? They're everywhere. So I want to try to put it in places where it's going to get down to the grassroots where it needs to be, and just use what little I need of that money to grow this. Okay, I'm going to be putting my own money in. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I've already got a nice chunk of money invested in this shit, right? And I'm going to keep doing that because I want to grow it, and I want to grow it with or without you, right? I'd rather do it with you, right? It's going to happen either way. But so anyway, that's one. And the second one that is Autism Speaks. And I think I mentioned it last night. I'm going to mention it towards the end of every show, I guess, because they are important causes to me. There's others, but these two hit close to home. Um, I have a grandson that we know is on the spectrum, and he's a beautiful soul, man. That kid is gorgeous. I love him to death, as I love all my grandchildren. I do anything. They know. My kids know. They know the deal, right? But he's smart as a whip, right? But he's got those spectrum issues, whatever neurological disconnects, right? That's all they are, man. There's nothing fucking wrong with it, right? Nothing fucking wrong with me or any of us, right? We just got to figure out how to reconnect shit, right? It's like rewiring a fucking stereo or a car or whatever. Um, sometimes shit shorts out, right? We're human, man. We're going to break down. Shit breaks. But so Autism Speaks, that's the other one that I'm going to get involved with um, on his behalf. And again, if you'd rather donate to them directly, please feel free to do that. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do. But, again, what I'm doing here, I've got a long-term goal. If the universe lets me stay here long enough, but I think I will. What I want to do is it's a pretty big ambition, um, but I know that with the right people on this team, it's going to happen. Right? I've already been told that. I already know that. Right? It's just a matter of when I can put that part of this into the process, and it's cool. And we'll talk about that because I'm super super excited. That's going to be my mark that I leave on this earth, right? And that's going to be the legacy that I leave for my name, my father's name, my kid's name. Okay, the Gignac name in Maryland anyway. It won't be forgotten anytime soon, right? Not that it will be anyway, because we got a lot of shit, but on a positive side, I mean, it's going to be something that will make someone with the last name Gignac be proud, right? And that's all I want. So um, anyway, thanks for listening. We'll get into a lot more shit. I got a lot more to talk about, and as I get more comfortable and more familiar with all this equipment, we got a lot of fun and shit. So anyway, I'm checking out, guys. Peace out. I love you. Bye. Live in stream this is. No, stop. Done.